So Luke, obviously disappointing result today. We've come up against a good side in Solihull, but we started well, dominated until the sending off. What was your feelings after that? Because it seemed as if our tempo seemed to drop a little bit, almost in expectation that we'd go and pick them off when they were down to 10.
I felt we started brilliantly. I felt that we nullified their strengths, which they like to play out. You said everything to my answer. They go down to 10 men, there's no impetus, there's no energy, there's no... Our play was very robust, one-paced, and I felt that they go and get the goal against the run of play, because I don't think they entered our half, but then they go and get the goal, and then we have a bit of energy and impetus to try and go and get a leveller. And I said to the group after the game that unfortunately when you go down to 10 men it's a lot harder, because they sit in, they're a lot harder to break down, and I don't think we deserve to win a game of football on the reflection of our performance when they went down to 10.
No, I mean obviously the goals come from a mistake from Rico. I mean in all fairness to Rico, I think he's earned the right to a mistake, but he didn't really cost us the game, did he? I mean we've got people in good positions, strikers maybe not being clinical enough, and of course it's disappointing. We've come away with a loss when it did feel at one stage as if we'd go, and if we got one at the right time we'd go on and get two. But is this now becoming repetitive with the boys up front now? Because it feels like this year they haven't been clinical enough. I'm talking about down at Wrexham and now here, where we've started both games on fire, and yet we come through that period and suddenly it's just giving us difficulties later in the game.
Yeah, you say it, when you have your moments in football you've got to take your chances. I felt that for the first 15-20 minutes Zayn in goal from 6 yards out should score. Corey gets Ryan Boot to pull off a worldie. The second half for me, Matt Reed's got to be sitting on 3 goals. Has his header that he pulls slightly back off from, doesn't follow through and put Boot in the back of the net. The pullback from 6 yards out. The clinicality, I spoke at Wrexham, not good enough. We dominate a game of football for 45 minutes, we find ourselves 1-0 down. Again this evening, I felt that we could have been sitting 1-0 down at Kings Lynn when they wrap a ball across the face of the goal, Kluken, and we don't take Zayn Angol's chance, Reedy's 2 headers that evening. And thankfully we did go and get on the score sheet, but again we need to have a little bit of killer, we need to have a little bit more ruthlessness, because for me I felt we started superbly, I felt we was on the front foot, I felt we was camped in their half for large periods of the game, and no disrespect, you're not given any God-given right to go and win a game of football when the opposition go down to 10 men. It might spur them on, and I felt that did. They were still brave, which I have to hold my hands up to Jimmy Shan. He started to play and he made a tactical change at half time. I felt that we're playing to our hands, bringing ball off and putting Mitch Hancock's in, and they countered in 1s and 2s as opposed to the whole bodies going forward, because it would have opened up and allowed us to get on them on the counter. Didn't do enough, in my opinion, didn't do enough to win a game of football, but my thing with that is leave Solihull Moors with a clean sheet.
No, I think you're right. I think, and as always with your interviews, they're very honest. I think Solihull, they were brave, weren't they? They went down to 10 men, they kept the ball. We can be architects of our own downfall. I mean, even with, let's be honest, the officials weren't great today. I'm not going to ask you that because obviously the league might want to fine you. But again, you saw that sort of debacle where he gives them the ball off a head injury, and suddenly a free kick's given away and Ash has to pull a worldie out. Or we could have gone 1-0 down at that point, all down to an official. But the truth is, officials haven't cost us the game today. We've cost ourselves that. We've got the FA Cup coming up next week. And again, it'd be nice for the town, for you, for the club, and everybody, to have a run in that and put a smile on everyone's face. What's your feelings on drawing Wimble?
Yeah, I spoke to Maidstone, spoke to Scotty down at Weston-super-Mare. They're going to be a tough test. They're coming there, pitch is going to be lush for them. It's going to be their cup final. We've all been there, banana skin. I need to ensure that the boys are on it. You said it then, it's all about a cup run. The ambition. I got a fella in there that got to the quarter final with the FA Cup with Lincoln in the National League, and we all dream to get that far, but we need to ensure that we have a little bit of killer and clinicality in the final third to put teams to bed, because we'll have our moments on Saturday, we know that. Not going to say we're going to dominate for 90 minutes, we're not Man City or Barcelona, but we will have our moments, and at the minute we're not having enough ruthlessness in the final third, and that I don't want it to cost us, because I spoke to Maystone, Hakan, and when you're 2-1 up with 95 minutes on the clock and Rendell misses a penalty and they go and score in the 96th minute and win it by penalties, I don't want that to happen come Saturday in the FA Cup. I want an opportunity to get into the first round, get a nice draw, and then have that illustrious opportunity to get to the third round, which we all want as a football club. A town stinks at the minute that there's no fans in the club. It stinks that there's no one there to support with us, but if we can give them something to dream of, beating Wimborne is the main focus now this week, and that starts as of Monday.